started.
Beechwood. Okay, time for me to start with e4. Let's see. So I got a higher rated player on ICC for once. Usually I get lower rated players here challenging me. Okay, so we have a French defense. And I don't think I've ever played Beechwood before. Okay, so he takes. This is the Rubinstein variation. Yeah, if the bishop comes out here to c6, that's known as the Fort Knox variation. Supposedly very solid for black. So what do I do? Yeah, let's start by developing the knight. That's probably correct. Yeah. So that's the Fort Knox variation. I want to play something like C4 and D5, I guess, at some point. The knight is hanging, so let's not forget that. Let's see, if I defend the knight with the bishop, my knight is defending the D pawn, so I'm still okay. He just takes. Oh, that's a very that's a very uninspiring way to play. So I still want to play C4. That looks like a good move. Just try and control more space in the center, drop my bishop back, set up the usual kingside attack here. Let's see, so he's getting his queen to the side. He has the move knight to g4 now, threatening here. My knight's currently defending the h7 square, so I don't have to worry about that at the moment. Now I should do something. Let's start by playing h3. Keeps his knight out of g4, and then I don't have to worry about moving the knight and losing the pawn on h2. One reason for doing this exchange is I don't have the idea of pushing my e-pawn forward to e5 here, where it'd fork those two pieces and gain a tempo for me. So that is, one of the rationales for the way that black is playing. And okay, yeah, I was going to pin his knight next, so he prevents that. And so I will put the bishop here. Defend the d-pawn. See, I'm going to centralize the rooks, and it'd be nice to get a knight to e5. If I can't put a pawn there, maybe I can put a knight there, but looks like he has control of that square. He's got queen, bishop, and knight all looking at that. That's quite an array. So even with the rook there, and even with the bishop out of the way, it would be hard for me to get in. e5. But he's going this way. So I also have the idea of playing c5. That kind of runs the bishop back, and that would give up the square. Let's see. So should I start with b4? He takes. That's probably no good, right? So let's prepare b4 with a3. I could also have played c5, kicking the bishop, and then b4, but that gives up the square on d5, which is a pretty nice square. So let's just push these pawns forward, bring the rook over to the b file, see how he's going to defend. And he's going for the counterattack. So if I'm thinking of moving the knight out of the way, actually. If the knight is not here, then when he pushes that pawn forward, I can actually keep the file closed by playing h4. Too bad I can't go to e5. Let's see, d4. So probably back here to d2. Okay, and now he's pausing to think and see how he's going to continue with this attack. Yeah, he's doing the same thing I'm planning to do, bringing both rooks over. Good plan. Let's do that. And I can still play h4 in response to g4. So I'm not yet worried about that. Now when he plays this move, I get to take. What do I want to take? I guess he's going to take back with the knight. That's what I suddenly started to realize here. He takes back with the knight, and yeah, I could move my queen, I guess. But do I have such a great square for the queen? So I'll probably end up taking the knight. So he's gained the bishop pair, I guess. But then I have the move knight to e4, which will threaten the pawn, threaten the bishop if he takes it back with the bishop or the queen, threaten the queen. Yeah, he's not getting the bishop pair. I don't know what I was saying there. I mean, I was forgetting that he has already traded off his bishop. He did that very early on. That was on move, yeah, bishop takes e4. That was on move 6. So I don't have to worry about losing the bishop pair. And here, this will provoke a trade. I do have to be careful about f2, don't I? And I'm not threatening. I was thinking I was threatening the g-pawn, but of course my bishop is gone, so I'm not threatening the g-pawn at all. All I'm hitting is his bishop and his knight. If he takes, I take back, should be okay. We have opposite colored bishops. But, well, if I get my attack going, opposite colored bishops favor the attacking side. If he retreats the bishop, I'll take the knight. If he retreats the knight, I'll take the bishop. I think that's, either way, should be okay. So he's pausing to think again. And, you know, I have a4, a5 coming down on his king pretty quickly. I think he should take and maintain this blockade with his bishop. That bishop is a good piece there on c5. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. And it keeps me from pushing my c-pawn forward. The question is, you know, can I get anything going with my light-squared bishop? I could maneuver it over here, so. I see what he's done. He's got the, yeah, he's got this, his bishop looking at my f-pawn. That's the problem here. That's the problem. So I've lost my f-pawn. My pawn is pinned. Okay, so that's the idea here. And yeah, I can't I can't move that pawn. And I can't defend that because it's on a dark square. And the only pieces I have are less valuable than his bishop that can control that dark square. So I lose at least a pawn here. Maybe more. But, well, at least my queen is defending g2. That's an advantage. So let's... yeah, there's a problem. His rook is coming. His queen is looking at the g3 square, and so is his rook. So I'm in trouble here. I guess maybe if I can bring the bishop around to defend some things here. But he's got rook to, well, it's looking, the bishop is looking at the g4 square, so I have an answer to rook g4, I guess. Planning to play bishop to g3. He can, maneuver like this. He can bring his rook to, or his queen to g3 here. Okay. This queen goes all the way there. So let's defend the pawn. And he's got this check. He can chase my king out to here. But then his queen has to go back. His queen can't come and give another check. And my rooks guard the f8 squares, f1 square, so we can't actually queen that pawn. And I am threatening mate, so probably has to do something about that. So I don't know if he can play anything other than queen back to c7. Question is, what do I have here? Pawn here. He really can just take it. If I could double my rooks on the d file, that would be good. Get a rook to d7. That would be a winning plan here. A little bit slow. He can start pushing these pawns maybe. But if I can keep his queen tied down, then he doesn't have this threat to come into the back rank. So I guess I really can lift that rook, because queen here is met by mate. Importance of counterplay. Yeah, so he's going to go for an endgame, I guess. Let's think about this. If I take, he will take with the rook. That's forced. If I don't do anything, can I... No, it doesn't work. Okay, I don't have to take. Let's push a pawn. Get those pawns away from his bishop and then see how he responds here. See, he has a loose pawn here with, if I just had one more attacker on it, I could pick up that. He's got a loose, that's not loose, that's defended by the queen. But it's, the queen moves, that would be loose. His bishop is not loose. His rook is not loose. Yeah, he doesn't really have any loose pieces. Sign of a good player. I don't have loose pieces. I could keep pushing this pawn. This pawn can go to a5. And then to a6. That's an idea. And if he pushes the pawn forward, I have the mate in the corner. So let's do that. I'll go, let's see. Let's think about his idea. His idea is to bring his rook here and force an exchange. Yep, I still think I have to go for the counterplay here. Oh, his idea was to put the bishop there. That's interesting. So if I go here and he takes my rook. Take his pawn. I think instead I will lift this rook up.
Check.
Oh, that's what I missed. I missed that was hanging. Let's see, and he's hitting my rook. That's too bad. And and when he takes this pawn, say I block with the rook, then he takes that pawn and defends on b7 there. He takes on b5 and defends b7. That's too bad. Oh, he decided to do it that way. Okay, well, let's go for this pawn push. He can still take the pawn on b5, yeah, why not? Why not do that? I'll get this pawn here. And I'll get a tempo move with my queen, so I'm hoping that's worth something. I have the idea also of just taking this bishop, but I have to be careful when I do it. But the thing about taking the bishop is that it gives my king an extra square. My king can go to the f2 after I take the bishop. So I take the bishop first. He will take with the pawn. Then I move the queen here with check. And pick up the rook, right? Take the bishop and he doesn't take, say he comes back here with check with the queen, then I'll go here. Then I will take on f2. If he checks me, I take on f2. If he takes the rook, then I will check here and take his rook. So let's see how he does. We're getting down to the last minute of the game. Wow, and a couple long games here. Takes there. So check here. How can he block? He can block with the queen or the rook. I guess blocking with the rook is good, huh? Could also take the pawn. Yeah, I'm not sure. But if I take the pawn, take this pawn, that's he's still a pawn up and the exchange up. Let's give the check and see how he responds. Yeah, he just goes there. So I can go back here and threaten the check in the corner. So nice having this diagonal all open like that, which is actually a mate threat. So maybe I can get out of this with a draw. He's certainly up in material. He's up a couple of pawns.
Check.
And he's up the exchange and a couple pawns, although I can get a couple pawns back. But if I just take the pawns here and here, he'll be one pawn up and he'll have the exchange. So that's a winning endgame. So he went there. So let's take here.
Check.
let's take here. So this is not at all so clear. This is now an endgame where I think I get this pawn and he's just one pawn up.
Check.
And, his king is all exposed. So unless I
Check.
unless I run into something here, some kind of fork here. Let's should I get the queens off, or should I keep them on? See what's the time situation. Check here. He's got a check coming here, which is kind of nasty. Okay, let's get the queens off. I can't calculate enough to survive this endgame. Can't calculate fast enough. But I can maybe get a passed pawn over on this side of the board to compensate for his pawn over there. Maybe we can get into a drawn endgame. So he defended that pawn. Yeah, pretty solid idea there. But I can go after these pawns. So he's kind of forcing my hand here. I don't actually want to take that outside passed pawn. He might have a one endgame. So now I can win this pawn at least. I can win one of these pawns. And now I should definitely have a draw here with correct play.
Check. Draw offered.
I'll take the draw. Yeah, I don't want to.
Draw.
I don't want to just play on time. I think it technically should be a draw. Okay, well, that was a nice game against a strong player. He definitely had the advantage at some point, and then, well, I had that counterplay on the light square, so that's a good example of the importance of counterplay. Okay, I will see you guys later. Bye.